If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, and it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. I don't even know if this thing is even working. I don't know if it's recording because all this crap is crap and it never functions. But it always seems to be reliable for others, at least. Or at least other people feel like their little electronic devices are reliable. I don't, because I know that it hardly works half the time because I'm too busy tapping and fighting this stupid phone, trying to get it to actually function. But then I learned that, I was marketed. I wasn't actually provided with a valuable tool or valuable device because I was too captivated with the marketing of it all, because they can only prove a certain amount of factual data of what they are selling in their product anyway. It's so questionable because they'll sell this as the main focus of this product, and they'll highlight it and they'll spend a whole 30 minutes discussing that idea or whatever that thing is that they're so fascinated with that led you to even consider purchasing another product with this marketing company that pretty much just markets and does machine learning, because they can't be bothered with having to engage with their customers. Oh no, that's too much to ask for. It's too much for me to have to engage with people in general. So I can only imagine having 1 million subscribers, being able to say, hey, I want 1 million people to go purchase this thing that I'm selling, because it's really a piece of crap and it's really all digital anyway, so it really has no value at all. I didn't spend any resources or any money on this product. I didn't go purchase it at Walmart and then double the price, because that shit's getting old, and people are starting to make being a celebrity into a business. But you can't just be a celebrity and not have a business, because what are you gonna do with all those subscribers? They're gonna ask you for stuff, they're gonna talk to you, they're gonna interrupt you, and you're not gonna be able to compensate for all that time that you're spending talking to those people. They're not gonna care that you're spending 8 hours, talking to them, responding to the same questions over and over and over, sending in the same pictures over and over and over, because they're too lazy to go see that I literally made it so easy for you. All you have to do is click this link, and guess what? It tells you exactly where to go for what you're looking for. Obviously, Instagram is for pictures, so go find those pictures on Instagram. Obviously, Instagram doesn't play games, so I'm not gonna risk showing you something that violates the terms, because some people don't feel like creating a new account and having to redo all the same crap all over again, because you can't tame subscribers unless you're talking to your subscribers. And then they have these rules for monetizing on their platform, which really doesn't make any sense anyway, because like you can basically like earn money from, you know, something that's free to do and not charge people. So like, okay, they don't have the money to pay, but we can generate money without charging them anyway. So then why charge them? Which doesn't make any sense anymore. It's like, okay, so now we're monetizing, we're generating money from, other people's engagement and their interactions with you and what they're doing on your website. And then we're like creating more websites, but instead of calling it Facebook all the time, we're going to make it a little bit different. We're going to call it Instagram, but it's still Facebook, because it still has the Facebook branding at the bottom, just in case, someone forgot, Facebook, hello. We got the power and the control. Oh yeah, I forgot. Let's do it again. Let's call it WhatsApp. So like, now that we have all this digital money and we're the only ones that have figured out how to use it and like get the free labor to drive content and not question the free labor because they're obtaining a value in the service, which really is no value in socializing anyway. It's just chaos and drama, and like you start talking to people about their opinions and their ideas, which don't make sense because they don't really understand what they're thinking, and half the time they're not thinking, they're just repeating what they heard because it sounds good, and it sounds good because they heard it on a rap video, but they had no idea what that person was talking about because it just sounded cool. But like, I don't even listen to music honestly for the lyrics. Like, I have to like listen to the song for the sound and then like go back later on and listen to the lyrics, and I'm like, okay, I hear the sound, I hear the vibe, you got me in the right energy, so what do you want to tell me? What is your experience? Because that's really all these musicians are doing, is giving you topics to think about when you're listening to their music, because Lord knows you would never be able to think about those topics on your own, especially when people are dropping out and selling drugs and showing their privates for money instead of going to school. Because the school even has a daycare. They even had the nerve to provide a daycare service to the school, because that's how bad things are getting, which is really kind of like, it's kind of sad. Like, I was thinking like, damn, like, okay, now that we have like all this internet crap, we don't have to like, listen to people like lie to us all the time, because like we have like better checks and balances, and like we can communicate with people in other places real time. So instead of waiting for someone to change the perspective and alter, the way the person is perceived because they're concerned and they don't want an uproar, and they're too busy trying to manage freedom, which doesn't make any sense. Freedom isn't something that you can manage, but we're getting confused now because we're on the internet now, where like you can literally be like violating another country's laws and not even know it, because like you're not actually there, you're just interacting with someone that's actually there, and technically those laws are designed to protect the people that are there, but if they're being violated by robots and fake profiles and anonymous crap and IP spoofing people, because learning how to cheat the system is more valuable than actually learning how the system works, apparently. I'm like, instead of like trying to like get more engagement with the youth, let's just dumb them down a bit and like make the cartoons like less informative, and let's get rid of some of this anime crap, because now it's like getting people to start thinking more, and we don't want that. We want them to like just make noises. So like we're gonna make cartoons basically just don't educate people and just entertain and make noises. And then we're gonna like not give this, what was it called? Beethoven? Yeah, we're gonna just eliminate Beethoven because that was all bullshit anyway. We just made that crap up just so like we can keep like, a foot in the music profit, because, there's a lot of money there apparently just listening and getting paid to listen, and then paying artists as you listen to their music is just too much of a hard concept, because now like all I have to do is like listen to music to support the people that we want to listen to now. So like now they know who's listening to their music, because everything is tracked and monitored, which is really annoying, but kind of cool at the same time. It's like maybe I do want some of that data later on, because they're just gonna go into cyberspace, or some employee is gonna use it to try to market more people and target more people, because we're making it a lot easier to, give away our privacy, which really there is no privacy anyway, because when you are yourself and you're being yourself and you're happy with yourself, then what do you have to hide? Nothing. But still, you still gotta hide, because people will just mess with you just for you being there and you looking the way that you look, which is really weird and bizarre. And I still don't understand how reading something that's happening on Facebook, which could be fake, like it's not that hard to make a fake article or fake post about something that's not real, and then like scare a person with propaganda and unreal stuff because they were too lazy to look at the comments that other people were saying. It's like, oh, this is fake. That checks and balance system that we have with the internet now. Oh yeah, let's do two-step verification. So like when something happens to our phone, we have no access to our bank accounts. Yay, woohoo! And then when we're stranded in another state, in another country that we're visiting, and we have nowhere to charge our phones because there's too many people doing drugs and shooting up, and they're locking down all the bathrooms because they definitely don't care about. And the whole crazy part about this whole thing and everything that I'm saying is like, there's nothing new. It's like the same thing that's been like around for like 150 years. I'm saying 150 because we actually got ourselves a date on how long they've been working on this. Getting paid for ideas and words that already exist, concept, and calling it branding when like literally like people like want to give their ideas for free and hope that they get heard, and they literally like dedicate their lives into having an opportunity to vote, which is still a system that I feel needs to be revised, because you don't actually know who's voting anymore. Because we don't actually know who's receiving the mail anymore. We don't know if it's a random visitor is receiving it. We don't know if it's like the stealing, a person stole it, or if it got delivered to the wrong place. But we're still relying on all those things that we receive. Like, it could be like from another person from another country. It could be like another business, it could be like another employee, like it's crazy because I don't know why they feel like that's the best system in place, but it's really not because you can literally make anything better, like literally anything better. You can even like connect it to like, their social and their filing and all that stuff because like you guys have a much better system for managing the money than managing the mail. So I can tell you that for sure, especially when I have to answer verification questions about people that I share mail with, but don't necessarily know. And like we have common mailing addresses, so like that's how they like start asking me questions about random people, and they know the person's name specifically, and they know their date of birth and all that stuff, like even like little small details about the person. I'm just like, you know, this could be like violating a person's privacy a little bit. Like, I don't think they feel comfortable like with their name and information about them just randomly disclosed without their permission in the form of an ID verification, which doesn't really matter because when people get their IDs taken, there's really no information to provide other than you now have to file your taxes with a PIN. So, like, now we can track who the fake person is that we're receiving money from and who the real person is that we're receiving money from. Because it doesn't really matter because we're both receiving money either way and we won't question it as long as we're receiving money from some sort of way. But if you owe us, oh boy, we're gonna take everything you got. We're gonna garnish your wages and all that stuff. And then like you can't get a job and you can't like maintain your survival because you're not following what they ask you to do. So that's the little game that people like to play, and I just don't like it at all. I don't like to play like little games like that. Like, the whole like internet thing was like kind of like my little world to like get away from people, and now people are on there. So like, MySpace wasn't enough. That was actually the fun times where people actually like were themselves and like were exploring and learning things and like having fun and like wasting their time like making themselves famous but still have no businesses and no products to sell because all they ended up doing was wasting their time with that fake profile. But who cares? Because they learned, what did they learn out of that? I know I learned HTML out of that because like I was definitely making so many different profiles for other people that were too stupid to make their own profiles because it was literally that easy. And they have websites where all you have to do is copy and paste the code and then you just paste it in the little section. And after you do that 100 times, you eventually start to see, oh, this kind of looks similar. Oh, this is exactly what I want it to look like, but I just want to change a few things. So, like, what can I change in here? And then you just start learning that shit by yourself. But I didn't need to, like, waste 4 years to obtain a degree to prove to somebody that I can do that when I was already doing that. Just before probably it even became a career. Because honestly, like, I don't even know who was responsible for web design when people weren't even making websites in the first place. Because literally all there was Google and like some random blogs with random information and random people talking about random stuff that nobody cared about really because it was just random crap. So now that we like figured out that there's money involved in this shit, so like we can like make more fake money that we can't like actually make fake money off of because that's totally like illegal. So we're gonna do it the fake way, like where it's not tangible, and then like charge people for air. Which is, I keep saying that because like that's the best example I can like provide, because really, like, a service is not tangible either. So, like, if you're charging people for conversations and for ideas and for concepts and for things that you would normally get for free, because that's what we do anyway. We give information for free. That's like how we like sustain ourselves as a society, by contributing and working together, so that way we can obtain the things that we want. But we're so focused on like the superficialness and the power and the crap that we don't want to address, because like we spent so much time piling crap on top of it, but it only looks like crap because people aren't really paying attention to what it's actually saying and the whole purpose of it. So yes, you do need someone taking your money out of your check and using that money and putting it into a service that's going to benefit society rather than yourself. Because, like, asking a person to contribute to society is like asking for Jesus, to come back after the Romans and what happened with that situation, because we don't really remember because we're too busy idolizing the symbol of pain and forcing other people to believe our thoughts and opinions about that situation. And there's like 400,000 religions out there, which I didn't even know that there was that many. I didn't even know that there was that many languages. So if there's 400,000 religions and it exceeds the amount of languages that there are spoken, then we have a serious problem. Like, we're allowing way too many people to get way too creative, but that's okay, because like you can't tell someone how to think or how to create or how to be themselves, because you really just gotta like focus on yourself and like not bother other people, because like you're never gonna have the freedom of speech, because there's always gonna be an appropriate time for an appropriate type of language, and we just can't be like talking about inappropriate stuff that impacts other people in their work environment, even though like people can seriously be eliminated just off of a complaint with no ability to provide any clarification or rebuttal to it, because we're now like getting people to sign things and not giving them an opportunity to read it, because the only objective is to get them to sign it, because we're going to need that documentation to show, hey, we did inform this person. Even though we did not inform this person, we literally just forced them to sign and gave them no opportunity to review it, because it was like 100 pages and there's no way that you can just review that in 10 seconds and then like give them like this time window of like, well, you have to make a decision if you want to move forward. And then like you don't want to like completely disarm them, so you give them that opportunity to think about it, but really the opportunity to think about it is like out the door, because they're not coming back for part two. Or, hey, I read this 100-page document and now I signed it, now I agree, because if you actually read the 100-page document, you probably wouldn't agree and you probably wouldn't sign, because it doesn't really matter anyway, because you just need a job. So that's why you signed it, and that's why you didn't read it the first time, and that's why you lost your benefits when you lost your job, because they made you sign something that you didn't even read. So all they have to do is let you go, and they have the documentation to prove that you were advised. So that's kind of a problem when you have employers designing their whole outline like that, and instead of addressing the high turnover rate, they just say like, well, they just say whatever, because really I've heard it all, honestly. I haven't heard like a really good excuse for having a high turnover rate. except for like they're an awful company because you have that many people quitting, then probably you have that many people that don't want to work there and don't want to put up with bullshit because at the end of the day, they're just trying to pay their bills and take care of the family, and they don't have time to be playing games because a lot of these employers will have you spending all day doing free labor and then not paying you for it. It's like, nope. I used to think like, oh, like when you first go in a company, you gotta like show your skills and kiss the boss's ass and like, show them what you can do and like do as much as you can and show them like how you can like expand and bring them to the future because they're way too old anyway, so they're gonna need somebody young that's computer literate that can like show them like, hey, you don't have to spend like $1 million on this stupid program and like I could literally build a replacement in like a week. And they literally hold me to that. So I spend a whole week proving them exactly how simple it is because apparently it's just too complicated for them to even think about for the past 10 years. So instead of like having a robot do robot work, we're having humans waste 4 hours doing robot work, which is really a waste of time because it's like, if you have a calculator, why would you spend 4 hours calculating by your hand? And you can like enter in the numbers in a few seconds and then move on and then spend all that time like, in areas where it's actually needed, like, where others haven't been able to go to because they were held back by the 4 hours of calculations. But we don't think, do we? We don't really like do what's like the most helpful thing. We like to do the most profitable thing that's gonna make us more money so we can continue to charge for air and then buy things or obtain things for free and then sell things that we obtain for free for money and then double the price of where we purchased it from because we don't really care about the person who's buying it really. We just want their money. So that's why we can just like fire people for a complaint rather than like actually figuring out what's going on because it's a lot easier to just give them $50 for their money that they clearly owe because they just don't want to pay their bill because they're so used to complaining and getting free crap that, that's more valuable. Entertaining that person and providing a service for that person is more valuable than retaining an employee, apparently. So, that's the world that we live in, and I ain't got time for it, so I'm out, making my exit, and And the last thing that I wanted to say is that I would much rather say what I want to say on a podcast, which I don't really want a podcast, really. I'm just using it as a way of practicing, maybe like getting myself more comfortable with talking to myself, because that's all I'm doing, really. There's no one talking to me. There's no one sending me any voice messages. I don't even have any questions. And the discussion topics that I'm receiving are like about things that I can't even discuss because I'm not gonna talk about basically like what a society should do for its society. Like, that's not my responsibility. I'm just a citizen observing what's around me and keeping myself away from all the crap, because I've been trying to do that for a long time, but people keep trying to get me to come outside, and I don't like to come outside unless I got a drink or something to smoke, because I don't even freaking drink, and I don't want to hear anybody talk, because I ain't got nothing to say, because I've already had enough from their messages online, so I don't really want to hear the verbal version of what I just saw in text message, because I don't like to play those type of games and like putting people on blast because they're mad at them and like thinking that that's cute, and like it's not. It's really like just letting me know like more about you as a person than the person that you're trying to hurt, because like you're gonna end up messaging me at some point and I'll be like, oh, I remember that they had posted all that crap. Like, yep, nope, definitely not gonna hit up that person, because they're on some spiteful, jealous crap. It's like, how could I ever feel like jealous of another person? Like, that's so weird to me. Like, I want everyone to be good and successful and to feel like they're number one at whatever it is that they're doing. So like, to be jealous of that is like kind of weird. It's like, not everybody has to suffer because somebody's too lazy to do the work, or would much rather someone do all the work for them, because really they haven't learned anything at all, because they're too busy focusing on the money part and didn't even understand the money part, because it's all free. It's literally free.